All right, hello class. I just wanted to say that first of all, I hope you had a great weekend, and I'm really happy that many of you are, the good bulk of you are turning in your work and you're getting things done. But I do want to address something. Um, The reason why I have the discussions and the papers and the notes is to make sure that you guys have something that you have to um, it it helps you to engage with the material and shows me that you are, because I don't know, right? This is the thing about having an online class, which is that um, we don't, uh, you know, I mean, if you came to my class, I'd know if you stayed for the whole class. What I don't know is if you're watching my lectures from the beginning to the end. And, excuse me, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are not, mainly because it's tough. When you're working a job full time, family, you know, have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something, and when it comes to doing like work, you're gonna probably find ways to cut corners. Now, I'm not accusing anybody specifically, but I noticed in particular this last week that in some of the notes that I got, all the notes were like the first 30 seconds, of my uh, voice lectures, and a lot of times the discussions were, the Egyptians were polytheists, and then the Christians believe in one God. And some of you, that's all that you put there. Many people did not discuss Akhenaten or Serapis, the Serapis cult, and or the fact that Egyptian Christianity, with Saint Anthony, it creates the monasteries. The movement of monasteries in the Christian world comes out of Egypt. Um, I didn't ask you to specifically address those things. So on that end, you're okay. My point, though, is that I'm having you do this work to show me what you know. That's the only way I can know what you know. And some of the work that's coming back to me is not making it very clear that you guys are actually knowing the material or actually watching all the videos from the beginning to the end. Now, the reason you'll notice that I don't do multiple choice quizzes, and that my exams tend to not be multiple choice. But if I start to get the impression that the material that I'm asking you to cover is not being covered, I'm probably going to switch a little bit to multiple choice. And I want to also give you a warning. I may give you a quiz at some point that would be very much only targeted at things that were brazenly significant throughout my lectures, and it'll be of significant points, and it will not be makeup for it. Okay, if I get the impression that too many are not being fully engaged in the material, okay, so I just want to make sure that that's what you're doing now. So here's what just to clarify. On the notes, sometimes some of you are writing me things to tell me, oh, I talked about gods. Okay, I know what I talked about. Or something. I want you to write things in your notes that are complete sentences in which there is a point that I made that was significant, and you're telling it back to me that you know an important point, that you learned that important point, or why did I even bring up the stuff that I brought up, right? That's what I'm looking for. When I ask for a theme, I want you to demonstrate to me through the material we covered, not needing to go to outside sources, what we covered and how it would apply to the topic. Okay? And I want to see as much as possible in those one pages. I don't really care if you kind of just recap synthesize what I'm saying, because I'm not grading you right on how your writing style is. I want you to demonstrate to me that you guys are learning the material, that you have learned the material, okay? And so that's when I know that I'm doing my job right and you're getting your education. That's what I want to do. I want to help get you educated. Now, let's take a look at Egypt. Egypt is the second largest military aid recipient of the U.S. government now, right now, as we speak. Why does the U.S. put so much support into the Egyptian military? Well, I'm not going to cover that here. That's from my 107 class, but you know, later if you're really curious, we can talk and chat about that. Egypt is one of the major producers of almost all Arabic-speaking films. 9/11 happened. No one from Iraq or Afghanistan were, according to the official government narrative, was from Afghanistan or Iraq. They were from Egypt and Saudi Arabia, two major allies of the United States government, but done by individual actors, not the state. So Egypt comes up still, is what I'm saying. And they had a big revolution that many would say has failed, a big revolt. And in other words, Egypt is a significant country, and they still have a very large Christian population in Egypt, the Coptic Church. Okay, and so I want you to be able to know more about, a topic that's beyond just, say, the pyramids or what people think they know or they don't know. So everything I'm bringing up, I want you to show me that you've really learned something. Okay. Now, last statement. When it comes to the ancient Israel, I'm always a little bit uncomfortable with this as well as excited, because I know that for many of you, and I say this in the video, but it's a touchy subject, because I'm dealing with a question of religion that is very important to so many people. And when I talk about secular historians and doing the assignment that we're doing, it's a little bit difficult for some students, and sometimes no matter how hard I'm trying not to be, it's still a little bit offensive to question the literal narrative of the Bible compared to what archaeologists and historians are finding. I just want to also let you know that most educated clergy, priests and pastors, are aware of this information in their education, and they find ways that they deal with it through a wide range of theological kind of positions. Okay, so they themselves, rabbis and so forth, do get exposed to this material as well. And so I just kind of want to show you that, make it clear that this really isn't an attack on faith, but this is one of those moments where, when I talked about ancient Mesopotamia, nobody's going to get really find themselves offended or in a problem. While in this case, it's a little bit different. Okay, so if there's any questions about what I'm wanting on the material, please feel free to give me a call. If you want to even go over some of it this week, I'm busy, but I'll make time for you. Call me or text me, and I want you to have a great week. I hope you enjoy the next subject, and I'm hoping that you are enjoying the class, and I want to do my best to make it better for you. So if you have any suggestions even, let me know. Okay, have a good night, and I will be seeing you this week.